Quick question. Have you seen this video here? This is the video where I share with you the formula to alter the packing cubes so that you can make them pretty much any size you want. And in that video, I share with you the formula and the PDF instructions on how to calculate the measurements for the packing cube that you want for the size that you want. However, I never really did a video showing you the steps I follow when I use that formula by actually making a packing cube. So today we are going to test this formula. And in this video, I am going to show you how the formula works and how I use it when I'm making packing cubes. Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So glad you're here. And if you're new, I'm Ali. In this YouTube channel, I share sewing tutorials, tips, and pattern reviews so that you and I can make beautiful things together. So I want to clarify something. This is not a tutorial video on how to sew a packing cube together. This video is actually a video where we're going to test the formula. So for that, I am going to test two different sizes. The first size is going to be the large packing cube, which are the measurements that you can find here in the PDF instructions. And then the second size is going to be a random measurement size that I just wanted to try. And it's kind of for like a medium size packing cube. Now, a quick disclaimer. This formula has been tested on curved edge packing cubes. I haven't tested this formula on compression packing cubes or on square edge packing cube. If you want to make a packing cube that is very large, I don't know, say 20 inches long or something very big like that, the formula may change because that's very long. So the formula may change. I am not sure. Okay. The largest packing cube I've made, we're going to make together in this video. I believe that you can make it a couple of inches bigger and it will probably, the formula still work. But I cannot tell you for sure. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a math degree. My degree is in fashion marketing and merchandising. I do have an acumen for math because I took pre-calc all the way in high school and I have a minor in accounting. So there is a little bit of math ability in me, but by no means I am a mathematician or anything like that. And with that said is when I tested this formula, I added a 1/4 inch seam allowance here. I took seam allowance there. I do not know how or why it works, but it works. This is a God-given formula. I was working on some things and just God gave me some ideas and I put it on paper. I tested them. They worked. So I decided to share them with you. Um, but I wanted to let you know. All I know is that the formula has worked for me and I just wanted to share it with you. And if it works for you, I'm happy. Hopefully by watching this video, you'll be able to follow the steps and do the same thing I did. And hopefully that will help you and you'll be able to make the packing cubes any size you want. Now, to make it easier on both of us, I came up with a quick calculator on an Excel spreadsheet where you plug in the numbers, the length and the width that you want your packing cube to be, and it will give you the measurements. And so all you have to do is put in the numbers, see the bottom, the measurements, and cut your fabric. If you want that spreadsheet, I have the link down in the description. I have also added the link to the PDF instructions on how to do the formula. And also, one of my subscribers had a great idea, and the suggestion was to add all the packing cubes video into a playlist. And I thought that was brilliant, so I went ahead and I did that. And so I've added the link to that playlist down in the descriptions as well. And anything that you may need to make your packing cubes, I've added down in the description. If I missed something, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to add it, answer questions, anything. Just let me know down in the comments. Okay, let's get started in making these two packing cubes. To make the large packing cube, we want our final measurement to be 13 1/4 by 12 1/4. That's the finished size that we want. So I'm going to use this pretty fabric here to cut the top and the bottom. So to do that, the main panels need to be 14 inches long by 13 inches wide, because I need to add 3/4 of an inch. And I call it a seam allowance because I really do not know what else to call it, okay? To calculate the perimeter now, to know what the zipper panel measurement is going to be, you're going to take both of your sizes and you're going to multiply them by 2, or you're going to add up all 4 sizes. So I take the 14 times 2 is 28, 13 times 2 is 26, and then I take those two numbers and I add them up, giving me a total of 54 inches. Once I have my 54 inches and I need to really come up with my packing cube perimeter, I need to take that 54 minus 4, which are these 4 corners. I take 1 inch off for each corner because I'm going to round them up. So I need to make sure those numbers are taken out of my total measurements. Then to calculate the zipper panel back, I am going to take the width right here on the side minus 2.5 inches for, again, seam allowance. And I call it seam allowance again because the formula works, but I don't know exactly what to call it, so I'm using seam allowance. So if I take 13 minus 2.5, it's going to give me a total of 10.5 for my back zipper panel here, so that I can have that room to open the packing cube and not be the zipper from beginning to end. Finally, my zipper panel is going to be the 50 inches that I measured minus the 10.5 for my back zipper panel, which is going to be a total of 39.5 inches long for my zipper panel. When you cut the back zipper panel and the zipper panel, you also need to decide how tall or how deep you want your packing cube to be. I usually do 4 inches as the height or the depth of my packing cube. It's up to you. But if whatever inches you decide, the zipper panel in this case is going to be 39.5 by 4, but my back zipper panel is going to be 10.5 by 4 3/4. And the reason for that is because I need to add room for my number 5 zipper. The zipper tape on my number 5 zipper is a little bit, it's like 1.5 inches. So I need to make sure I have room for that as well. My zipper has to be the size of my zipper panel, right? And I always add a couple of inches to that to help me work the zipper when I'm installing it. So your zipper can be, 39.5, so 41.5, 42 inches long is good. And I'm actually going to cut it on this side because I want to keep the 2 zipper pulls. And this is kind of crooked, so, okay, let's see. So I'm going to insert 1 zipper pull on one side and then the other zipper pull on the other side. And here you have your zipper with the 2 zipper pulls facing each other, like that. Your side panel, your back zipper panel, and your 2 panels, top and bottom. Now we're going to curve the edges. And you're going to do that on all 4 sides for both panels. Okay. Now, I have this template, this curves template, corner rounding template. It is not necessary to have, but it really is very helpful. This is completely optional. And this one is from So Sweetness. I am not an affiliate of So Sweetness. I got this a few years ago. I've used it a lot. So this one has 4 different sizes: 1.5 inches, 2.5 inches, 3.5 inches, and 5. We're going to use the 1.5 inch here. And simply you just pick any round object that you have. And in this case, I have the template. I place it right on that corner. I draw the line and it marks my corner there. And then I just take my scissors and trim it. If you don't have a template, you will measure here in your little corner 1.5 inches, place a mark, 1.5 inches, place another mark. So let's do it here in the center so you can see it better. So 1.5, actually, this is a half right here, and then 1.5. And then from that point to that point, you're going to draw a curve. Use whatever you have. I mean, I sometimes use tape, you know, because it's exactly round. Whatever you have around that will give you that curve, you can use it, but it's 1.5 inches. Consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel if you have learned something today. Okay, so at this point, I just want to say you will follow the procedures to make your packing cube. I have videos that show you how to make a packing cube. The links to those videos are down in the description. You can also check it out here. But this video is not to show you how to make a packing cube, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and put the zipper panel together with the back zipper panel, and I'll come back when it's time to join it to the top and bottom panel. Okay, so I finished my zipper panel and I added the zipper here, as you can see, and I added the back zipper panel as well. And I just pin it to the bottom panel and it fits. It fits perfectly. There's no issues here. Of course, it's not perfect because I haven't finished pinning everything, and you always have to, especially when you get to the curves, push the fabric around so that it matches the curve, but it's not smaller, bigger, etc. Another thing I want to say is that my seam allowance when I joined the back zipper panel to the zipper panel is 1/4 inch. I used a 1/4 inch seam allowance for everything, as well as when I joined the zipper panel to the bottom and top panels. The seam allowance is it's a 1/4 inch, sorry. So as you can see, it works perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and continue joining the zipper panel to the bottom and top and finish this packing cube. And here is where the final packing cube, making it with the large size formula. Okay, it worked. It was a little tricky to add, especially the top, and it's because of putting the zipper panel here on the shorter side of the packing cube. So I definitely recommend putting it on the on the length side of it, not on the width. But other than that, it fit perfectly. This formula worked as well. Let's try another size now. And this time I don't want a packing cube that is too small or too big. So I want my packing cube to be 12 inches long by 9 inches wide. Approximately, okay? So that's the size that I'm shooting for. So what I do is that I add 3/4 of an inch, 0.75, to one side of the panel here and then to the other side. So I know the measurement for my top and bottom panel is going to be 12.75 by 9.75. So that's easy. Now I'm going to determine the zipper panel. So what goes around my top and bottom panels, right? So for that, I'm just going to multiply the 12.75 times 2, because it's two sides, and the 9.75 times 2, which again is two sides. So 12.75 times 2 equals 25.5, and 9.75 times 2 equals 19.5. Then I'm going to add those two totals for the two length and the two widths. And that gives me a total of 45 inches. Now remember that we're going to curve the corners. And for that, I take 1 inch off my total 45 inches for each one of the corners. So 45 minus 4 is 41. Okay, so far my perimeter here is 41. So I'm going to put that aside for now. Then I'm going to calculate my back zipper panel. And my back zipper panel, for that I take one of the measurements for my width, which will be the 9.75, 9 3/4, and I deduct 2.5 inches for seam allowances. The total measurement for my back zipper panel will be 7.25. Great. So now that I know what my back zipper panel is going to measure, I'm going to decide the final measurement for my zipper panel. And for that, I'm just going to take my 41 inches minus my back zipper panel measurement. So 41 minus 7.25. That leaves my final zipper panel measurement to be 33.75. So 33 3/4. And then the height is really up to you. I usually do 4 inches. In this case, I did 5 inches, and it was because I was having a little bit of a hard time cutting the fabric. And when I realized that I had cut it at 5 inches, I said, well, it's going to stay that way. I'm not going to go back and try to cut this again, because this has to be really straight, you guys. And when I was cutting it, it kind of was cutting on a curve because I folded the fabric. Anyway, just make sure it's very straight. So ended up being 5 inches tall. And for my back zipper panel, the measurement will be 7.25 by 5 3/4. You have to add 3/4 to the back zipper panel, because you have to take into consideration that you are going to have a zipper here. Okay, so you're adding the distance of the zipper. And this is a number 5 zipper. And for your zipper, after you have the measurements for your zipper panel, you're going to take that measurement and you're going to add 2 to 4 inches extra. And it's really up to you how much wiggle room you want to have when you're putting the zipper together. I like to have extra fabric here so that I can open it and I'm not worried that the zipper pull is going to come off. That is truly up to you, but I say at least 2 inches. So if this is 33.75, which 34, then I can, to round it up, I can cut my zipper 36 inches long at least, if not longer. Okay? And 2 zipper pulls. It's up to you. You can have 1 zipper pull, but I like 2. So to go over again, the final measurements, top and bottom panels are 12 3/4 by 9 3/4. My back zipper panel is 7 1/4 by 5 3/4. And the zipper panel is 33 3/4 or 33.75 by 5. And my zipper is at least 36 inches long. Now let's go ahead and put it together. And again, I'm not going to show you how to put together the packing cube, because this video is not to show you how to make the packing cube. This video is to test the formula. One other thing I want to mention is the curves here. I am doing the curves using this ruler, and they are 1.5 inches wide. So I measure 1.5, 1.5 on each side, and then do the curve. I notice here that when I join my zipper panel with the zipper to my back zipper panel, it's a little bit longer. It's about 1/4 inch longer. And that could happen because of 2 reasons. Yeah, about 1/4 inch or maybe 3/8 of an inch, okay? Either my zipper tape is not exactly the length, which, let me see what my zipper tape measurement is, which is not even 1 1/4. It's 1 1/8, a little more than 1/8. So it's 1 3/16. And I'm counting that my zipper is 1 1/4. Or could be that, I stitched it too close to the zipper teeth and I didn't leave enough room. So that can happen, okay? So what's important here is that your back zipper panel is not smaller than the final zipper panel and zipper joined together. And if it is, well, you just have to cut another zipper panel. But in this case, I am just going to maybe trim off 1/4 inch from the top. Not a big deal. Okay, right sides together. There it is. Perfect. Okay, let's continue. So first, I'm just going to pin the longer sides of the panel and leave the curves for the end. So as you can see, it matches really well. All I have to do now is kind of, when I join the panel here, because this is a straight line and this is a curve, I have to turn my straight panel into a curve. And the way to do that is by just snipping right there around the curve, and the fabric will open up and give in, and then you just match it to the curve at the bottom and join it together. And that's what you'll do with all 4 corners, as you can see. And yeah, it looks like it's good. It looks good. I mean, it's always normal that this may be a little tight, and that's how you are just gonna clip. And just don't go crazy clipping, just clip a few and see if that works, and if it doesn't, then clip some more. And once you do that, I can, press the seam allowance there open. You're going to do the same with the top. And the top, you're just going to join it straight to on the zipper tape. And you can then trim off the zipper ends, and your packing cube will be ready. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is how it looks. You just watched me join it together, stitch it together, the curves, and it matches perfectly. So the next step is just to join the top panel to the zipper here. And I mean, that's it. Your packing cube will be complete. And here's the final packing cube with the second measurements. I added the zipper here on the top, and it fit perfectly, so the formula for this size worked just fine. So as you can see, it was pretty easy to make. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, again, let me know down in the comments, and make sure you check out the playlist right here where you can see how to make other packing cubes, and you will also see the original video for the formula. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.